Okay, today we're going to talk about break-even problems, but for that we need the profit formula, which is profit is equal to revenue minus the cost. Profit, we're going to set it up as P of X, revenue is R of X, cost is C of X, and your equation is P of X is equal to R of X minus C of X. We want to break even, and revenue is the same thing as earnings. I made a little note here that revenue is equal to earnings. Now let's start with the first problem. Sally wants to make $80 to buy a bike. She wants to sell lemonade for 50 cents each. She bought the lemonade mix for $2.99 while the cups cost her 10 cents each. How many cups does Sally has to sell so she can buy her bike? Well, let's go back to the formula. Profit equals revenue minus cost. And we're going to set up the equations like this. Okay, I went ahead and started working on the problem. So we have cost is equal to 10 cents X plus $2.99, and revenue is equal to 0.50 cents X, because the cost is what she is like investing on her lemonade stand, because she spent $2.99 on the lemonade mix and 10 cents for each cup she bought. And her revenue, which is her earnings that she will be receiving, she's selling each cup for 50 cents at the lemonade stand. So here I set it up as, remember, profit is equal to revenues minus the cost. So I set it up like this: 50 cents X minus 10 cents X plus $2.99, which is 50 cents minus 10 cents X is 0.40 cents X plus $2.99. And if we're going to break even, we're going to set profit to 0 is equal to 0.40 cents X plus $2.99. Now we're going to subtract $2.99 from this equation, $2.99, and we're left with 0.40 X divided by 0.40 X. Divide this by 0.40. We get this number. $2.99 divided by, I'm using my calculator for this, divided by 40 cents. We get 7.475. But we cannot have a decimal number here, because she said she cannot sell 7 decimal amount of cups. So we're going to round up. So X is equal to 8. Eight cups. So Sally, if she wants to break even, she is going to have to sell 8 cups to break even. That's in order for her to break even. But let's read the problem again. It says Sally wants to make $80 to buy a bike. She wants to sell lemonade for 50 cents each. She bought the lemonade mix for $2.99 while the cups cost her 10 cents each. How many cups does Sally have to sell so she can buy her bike? It's not asking you to break even, but I went ahead just to show you guys how you set up your problem to break even. But in this case, the profit is $80 here. And we're trying to solve for the amount of cups Sally has to sell in order for her to buy the bike, right? So we're going to set it up a different way. This is not the answer for this problem. This is the answer if they ask you how many cups does Sally have to sell in order to break even. Break even meaning that she doesn't gain or lose. It breaks even. the amount of profit she makes versus the amount of money she spent. Now let's solve for how many cups does Sally have to sell so she can buy her bike. Okay, I set it up like this. $80 equals 40 cents X plus $2.99. Let's solve. Minus $2.99 minus $2.99, which is $77.01 equals 40 cents X divide 40 cents X. You get X is equal to 192.525. We round up. So really, Sally has to sell 193 cups in order for her to make enough money to buy the bike, which costs $80. Now let's continue with a different problem. Okay, this one says Johnny wants to open up his crochet business selling scarves. He spent $200 on supplies and $5 per skein, aka yarn. If Johnny sells his scarves for $15 each, how many scarves does he have to sell to break even? How much profit will he make? Let's set up our two equations, the cost and the revenue. Cost is equal to $5 per skein plus the $200 he already spent on supplies. Revenue will be how much he's selling his scarves each, which is $15 each. Okay, let's set up the equation. P of X is equal to Rx minus Cx. R of X minus C of X. In this case, we're going to set profit to 0 because we want to break even first. R of X is $15 X minus the C of X, which is 5X plus 200. Okay, $15 minus 5 is $10. So it's 10X, $10 X plus 200 is equal to 0. And we're going to move the $200 to the left side. We get negative $200, but is equal to $10 X divided by 10X. Are you following? So 200 divided by 10 is 20. X is equal to 20. I know we have a negative sign here, but since we want to know how many scarves he has to sell in order to break even, we're going to ignore the negative sign because negative 20, well, it doesn't really make a difference if it's positive or negative. We want to know the amount of scarves, the number of scarves he has to sell in order to break even. So the answer is 20 scarves. $20 scarves is your answer. Now let's reread the problem again. Johnny wants to open up his crochet business selling scarves. He spent $200 on supply and $5 per skein, aka yarn. If Johnny sells his scarves for $15 each, how many scarves does he have to sell to break even? How much profit will he make? Okay, so we solved the first problem, which is how many scarves does he have to sell to break even, which is 20 scarves. Now let's see how much profit will he make. For that, we will be using this equation right here, the revenue equation. But it doesn't say how much profit will he make selling X amount of scarves. It just wants to know how much profit will he make. I'm guessing if he sells 20 scarves, we're going to plug in 20 scarves into this equation, 15x. So 15 times 20 is 300. So the profit will be $300. Because he's selling $15 each scarf. Each scarf he's selling for $15 equals $300. And that's how I solve problem number 2. I also want to point out that the profit he makes, $300 selling 20 scarves, is also going to break even with the amount of money he spent on his costs. Because if we plug in 20 on the equation that's for the cost, $5 times 20 scarves equals 100 plus 200 is equal to 300 as well. So I don't want to confuse you guys even more, but whenever you want to ask how much profit will he make, we have to plug in 20 scarves, 20 scarves into this equation. I'm sorry, you guys. So he didn't make profit, but the wording is different. So he didn't gain or lose, but if you wanted to figure out how much money he made selling 20 scarves, you plug in right here on the revenue for his earnings. But also the profit equation is Rx minus C of X is equal to P of X. I guess the wording is different for this problem. But that's the answer I got. I got $300 profit selling 20 scarves. It doesn't specify how many scarves he sold to make profit. Let's continue to the next problem. This problem says that Karen buys ugly houses for $7,000 each. She spends $1 million on equipment. If Karen rents each house for $18,000 per year, how many houses does Karen have to rent for her to break even? Remember the formula? P of X is equal to Rx minus C of X. Rx, in this case, will be equal to $18,000 X. And C of X is equal to $7,000 X plus $1 million. Take a couple of minutes to solve for yourself, and I'll be back with the answer for the break-even problem. The answer I got was 91 houses. Karen has to sell 91 houses in order to break even. And on the last note, I want to add something. I was checking this problem about Johnny who wants to open up his business for crochet. His profit is actually $0. Why? I'll show you why. Profit is $0 because the equation is profit is equal to revenue minus the cost, which I have it right here. And if we plug in 20 scarves into this equation, it equals 0. Now, if they wanted to find out how much money he made selling 20 scarves, it will be $300. But if he sold more than 20 scarves, like let's say he sold 30 scarves, then of course he'll be making profit because if we plug in 30 scarves here where the X value is, I'll do my calculations. Hold on. As I was explaining, if Johnny would have sold 30 scarves, he would have made $100 profit. Why? Well, because I plug in 30 times $15, I get $4.50. This is a 4. And we subtract that, the revenue, from the cost, which is 30 times $5 plus 200 equals $350. So $450 minus $350 equals $100. And in this equation, how much profit will he make when he breaks even? Well, it's 0. The profit is 0. If he sold 20 scarves, his profit is 0. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.